One of my favourite memories from primary school was the announcement that in Year 5 that we were to present research on a famous Australian. Night of the Notables was a much anticipated event for the Year 5 students, and I threw myself so wholeheartedly into the project that my mum and teacher had to remind me that there was other work that needed to be done. You might be wondering why I begin my reflections on assessment with this anecdote, and the answer is quite simple. It seemed to me that this was the first piece of assessment work that I had done that I knew that I could do well in. The Night of the Notables gave me an opportunity to show my knowledge in a medium that was comfortable. The way we chose to present our finding was up to us, and it seemed to me that the world was my oyster. You can't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. This is a quote that speaks to me in so many ways. As a student, I struggled with numeracy and science while excelling in the creative arts and literacy. I have a passion for reading and writing, and like most little girls did, I love to perform dramas, skits, songs, and create beautiful artworks. Simply knowing that I would have to work with numbers at some point during the day, though, would reduce me into a state of fear. Perhaps even worse than that was the warning of a maths test and the inevitable tears, tantrums, and turmoil that would result at home the night before the test trying to revise. My poor parents would have to deal with this energetic and playful child who, at the reminder of said maths test, would morph into a catatonic mess. It was my dear dad, the VCE maths teacher, computer science, and all-round left hemisphere guy that changed my view on maths forever. He would sing my maths to me. We would sing my times tables to the tune of my favourite things over and over again. We would sing about the formulas of how to find area of shape and how to find the average of a group of numbers. We would create colourful flow charts on how to multiply and divide long numbers using the brand new Smiggle pens that I would get if I didn't cry. William James, a writer who lived in the late 19th century, said that the union of the mathematician with the poet is surely the ideal. I am a firm believer in the integration of curriculums. Using literacy to teach maths, maths to teach science, science to teach investigations, investigation to teach the arts, and the arts to teach literacy really is how I believe we can teach our students to be grown-up citizens of the world. The interconnectedness of these subjects is lost when students' minds become used to the scheduling of subjects. Passion for learning can also be lost when a student spends the entire maths lesson counting down the minutes until it's time for PE or drama. I wonder what my own primary experience and what my mathematical knowledge would be like today if my teachers had integrated the curriculum a little bit more. The problem is assessment. The problem is that children are so subject to anxiety and pressure both internally and externally over subjects that they're not good at. I'm good at English, and even now I still identify as not being good at maths. I'm good at working out how much money I can spend each week on new shoes and still pay my rent. I'm good at making my book last more than a week by averaging out the pages to make it last a little longer. I'm good at working out how many different ingredients I can put into my recipes to make it taste better for me but also still be edible. I'm good at organising my home and my finances. I'm good at splitting the bill after a few drinks on a Friday night. I'm good at ensuring that my uni timetable is only 2 days a week, and I'm really good at working out how many times I can press snooze in the morning and still get to work on time. But I'm not good at maths. Now I'm sure you're looking at your marking rubric waiting for me to get to the point, so here it is. My problem with assessment culture is assessment. My problem is that we dictate to our students the form in which they have to show their learning. The problem is that assessment is boring. It gives you a ranking against your friends and it doesn't seem to apply to the world around us. Our students don't go home on a Friday night and see mum and dad enjoying a riveting maths worksheet with their glass of wine. Worley argues that lessons with clear links to life experiences, personal or cultural episodes, and have enjoyable plots will surely ensure quality learning. I am more than aware that often personalised assessment is not feasible. I'm a strong advocate for teaching students that sometimes life sucks and you actually just have to do your maths worksheet. So if we can't always tailor our assessment to meet individual needs, the logical solution is to tailor lessons to include a rich variety of options for student representation of learning. It was my ownership over the new math strategies that got me over the line. My precious dad and I created new methods that complemented the ones that I learnt at school, but allowed me to complete my work without tears. I began to associate different colours to the different stages of division and multiplication, and I would solve my work on a different piece of paper using these coloured pencils, and then transpose it onto the worksheet in grey lead. As a pre-service teacher, I barely have time to wash my hair while I'm on rounds, and I dread to think what will happen to my self-hygiene next year. But I do have time to incorporate several different learning strategies into my lesson plans and give students a chance to develop the same sense of ownership over the math strategies to their own learning. Upon observing my class in 2015, my mentor teacher and I established that there was a vast range of personality types and complementary learning styles in the room. We decided to commit more time each lesson to discussion and demonstration, and to take the pressure off our students to complete exhaustive worksheets. A typical lesson in our room will begin in the floor on circle time, with a range of resources spread out amongst the students. Students are then asked to guess or infer what the lesson's going to be about that day. And when we come to a conclusion as a whole, we brainstorm on the board all the things we know about the subject area. The resources are then explored as the whole class and the task explained. Students are then invited to return to their seats and complete the task there, or to stay on the ground with the teacher and their peers to explore the task further, work in a team, or use the resources to help them. Of course, lessons like this aren't always feasible and entail a lot of planning and collection of resources. To counter this, we will regularly ask the students if they have any other ways that they might go about the task. We then unpack and explore their methods with them and record them on the whiteboard so that other students can try their method too. By complementing individual learning styles, we believe that this gives the student a chance to share their ideas even if they go against the classroom's norms. It also gives our students room to fail and then to try again using a whole array of different methods until they find a method that resonates with them. I personally praise the IB system and their policies to assess the processes of learning rather than the finished product. Students who are aware that their teachers are looking for their own interpretation of subjects are purely being assessed on the progress would surely be far more encouraged to produce work that accurately depicts their learning. This is as opposed to students who have resigned to the fact that they have to show their knowledge in a certain way at the end of the unit and give up early if they think that they haven't got the topic yet. It appears to me that more often the Australian system is so caught up in the results of learning that it forgets to honour and encourage the processes and complexities of learning. As a teacher, I aim to encourage my students to enjoy the process of learning. I aim to teach them that learning is lifelong and that no matter how many times you sing your 3 times table to the tune of My Favourite Things, sometimes 8 times 3 will baffle you in front of 27 9-year-olds, and there is nothing that you can do about it except for laugh.